lost control of their biggest cash cow, which was the nursing home, complete control of it. Ended up getting just pennies out of the income that was coming from it because DHEC had come in and put another entity in charge of it. And gave them, that's the way they got paid. Was they got
Guys,
a,
it looks like we're live on YouTube now.
Okay.
All right. Good afternoon, everybody. I'd like to call to order the Monday, September 11th, 2023 City of Charleston Real Estate Committee meeting to get to order. And it looks like I've been tasked with the invocation. I would just ask that everybody today reflect on 9/11 and what happened to this country, I guess, 22 years ago. I think we all remember where we were. I was a junior at Bishop England High School. I was sitting in Miss Rooney's math class, and the announcement came over the intercom. And I don't think our world has been the same since. So let's all think about everybody that perished in that tragedy, and that everybody that, you know, has suffered since that day with all the things in the world that have transpired in the wake of 9/11. All right, thank you. First up on the agenda is approval of the August 14th, 2023 minutes. Can I get a motion?
So move, Mr. Chairman.
Second.
All right, moved and properly seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 The ayes have it. Before getting into our agenda, I'd like to make a motion to amend the agenda to add an executive session item involving real property at 89 America Street. As required by the FOIA statute to amend an agenda, we need a 2/3 vote. I also need to state the reason why there is an exigency. The basis for the exigency is the fact that there is a trial scheduled in October involving this matter, so time is of the essence. And the purpose of the executive session is to obtain legal advice regarding that property. So with that motion being made, if anybody could.
I'll second it.
All right, moved and properly seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. It's unanimous. And why don't we put that at the end of our agenda so we can move through regular business, annexations, and then go into executive session. Okay.
Makes sense.
All right. Thanks, everybody. First item up is an authorization for the mayor to accept irrevocable deed restrictions with respect to 838 Morrison Drive. And this is in connection with the Upper Peninsula District zoning ordinance and some bonus incentives that developers can get under our ordinances for incorporating renewable energy or workforce housing components into their project. And Ms. Creech is on, and I believe we'll have some more info for us.
Yes, good afternoon, everyone. So in connection with this request, they are proposing to include a renewable solar energy system on site that will be 12 kilowatts and 19 workforce housing units on site as well. And that is, of course, in consideration for their request for additional height and density bonuses under our UP ordinance.
I'll move for approval.
Second.
All right, moved and properly seconded. Any questions, discussion from committee? Mr. Mayor.
Mr. Chairman, I just wanted to report, in addition, construction has begun work on a sidewalk across the street from the development that the developer agreed to take on. It will be reimbursed by tax increment finance dollars, but they are managing the project, which helps our capital projects efforts as well. And they have additional plans to add a public park behind the development that extends out to the waterfront, and a a separate stairway up to the walkway over the Ravenel Bridge. And we met with them recently about all these items that we're working on, and so we're collaborating with them to make other improvements as well as these legal requirements as well. Thank you.
Good deal. Good deal. Any further comments, questions from the committee? Hearing none, all in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 The ayes have it. Thank you, Ms. Creech. Next item up is an acceptance of a multi-use path easement. This property is owned by, I'm not even going to try to pronounce that LLC, but it's in here in the minutes and on the agenda. And this is at 1575 Folly Road. And Ms. Creech, you've got this one as well?
Yes, I have this one too.
Wonderful.
1575 Folly Road is not within the city, it's within the county. However, it is adjacent to properties that are in the city, and it's all within the James Island overlay. And so in order for there to be continuity in the existing 12-foot multi-use path, the owners of 1575 are proposing to build the multi-use path on their property as well, and it would be an easement for the city to accept maintenance of that. As it stands, it's a sidewalk to nowhere, so they're going to continue it at the request of the county as well.
Got it. Councilman Shade, you got any comments about us taking on an easement for property in the county?
I was going to make a comment about that and just a little concerned that is that doable? I mean, it's like, are we crossing streams here?
Well, I will say that in the county's zoning ordinance 5.5.6.c, it is a requirement that the owner obtain this easement from the city. That being said, it's not part of our ordinance, but ultimately, if the intent is to have these sidewalks be continuous, these multi-use paths rather, it would seem reasonable to include it.
How do we enforce an easement or maintain an easement that's not in the city property? That's sort of where I think the confusion comes in.
Well, I think the easement itself, once it's recorded, would do that. We would have the ability to do that. And for reference, it's the old brick house. And next to it is Corky's, and they have their multi-use path constructed, as I understand it.
But some of this is in the city. Did I understand that properly? Or
The
is it
property
adjacent to?
next to it is within the city and has the multi-use path, and so it sort of ends and doesn't go anywhere.
So we actually contiguous to this parcel?
Yes, if you'd like me to share.
No. I'll move for approval. Those seconds are hard to come by.
Mr. Mayor?
Oh, I second. I thought it was on the table. I'm sorry.
Thanks.
But if I may comment, Mr. Chairman.
Sure, absolutely.
I was just going to say that in order to provide the connectivity over there for this long-awaited Rethink Folly Road pathway in this section, it seems like a reasonable thing to take on. I do see Ms. Connor on the call, and if you haven't had the opportunity to reach out to the owners of Equisetum or whatever, however it's pronounced, I would encourage you to give them a holler and see if we'd welcome them to come into the city.
Absolutely. I've been talking with Ms. Creature a little bit about this property, so that's a conversation that we're absolutely open to and have started at the beginning of, but thanks for the encouragement on that.
Great.
Good deal. Any further comments, questions? Councilman Shade?
So listen, I think this is a great opportunity that we're trying to accomplish. I just had to pause a little bit, and since you teed it up, Councilmember Rappel, to the question about a county property and an easement that the city has, but if our legal department is comfortable with this and this is all okay, then let's do it. But that was just my somewhat concerned about it. But maybe Molly can throw a little bit of magic dust and get this annexed into the city, and that's even better.
Is the
If we
property,
can-
do we know if the property at 1575 Folly Road, is this the actual brick house or is this the lot next to it that's undeveloped?
It is, my understanding, it is the actual brick house. They're not proposing to construct any additional improvements on site. They're gonna turn it into a doggy daycare and boarding facility.
Interesting.
Hmm.
Interesting. I would just also point out, Molly, having dealt with several folks that have tried to change the use of their property or do minimal expansions of their use along Folly Road or Maybank Highway in the county. When you make changes to what you're doing, the county will almost always throw you into their site plan review process that requires you to bring the whole property up to code. I mean, this could be hundreds of thousands of dollars of investments that are required. The city does not require that sort of substantial investment when you're doing just minor use changes and things like that. That's often a nice incentive for folks to consider all their options. Let's just put it that way. So just thought I'd mention that. All right, any further comments, questions, discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. It's
I move for items C1 through 12 be taken as a whole, Mr. Chairman.
I'll
All
second that.
moved and properly seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. The ayes have it. It looks like, are these all residential annexations, Ms. Connor?
Yes, these are all residential, all in West Ashley.
Wow,
And none in District 9. I get a
Sorry.
goose
Got
egg
them
on this
all.
one.
you may have gotten them all. All those donut holes have been gobbled up.
Oh, not yet.
We're
Not
getting
yet. We're
there.
still working on it. You'll have some work next meeting too. Don't worry.
There you go.
Okay.
But listen, I think 12 annexations on an agenda speaks to the kind of job you're doing, Molly.
I agree.
Thanks.
Excellent work. I don't, it's been a while since I've seen an X and two little I's on one of these agendas. That's a lot. So well done. We got I guess we need to do a motion to approve.
Motion to approve the
Second.
annexations 1 through 12.
All right, moved and properly seconded to approve all 12. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. The ayes have it. We have an existing executive session item on the agenda regarding the Bridgeview Apartments. I guess we'll take that one and then we'll take the executive session item we voted on to add to the agenda earlier, if that works for everybody. Or why don't we do this? If it works for everybody, let's add the one, let's take the one that we added first, so Mr. Jones can get out of here, maybe a little bit earlier.
But we would take both of them into executive session at the same time.
Right, and then he could drop off when that's
Yeah.
over. We can
Unless
continue.
there's some folks that can't be in one or the other. But I'll defer to how everybody wants to handle that. Julia, what do you think?
No, we can go ahead and start with the one Mr. Jones is participating in, and then he can drop off.
There you go.
I might have to join on my phone for the second one after that, but we will get this done.
Cool. All right. Take us
Thanks,
away.
everyone.
I move we go
Bye,
into
Molly.
executive session.
I'll
Second.
second it. Yeah.
All right. Moved and properly seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none.